Radical.
Sup, everybody? I have very limited time on the weekends, and this week in particular has been quite busy. So, when you have limited time, you don't get to cover every single thing you want to cover. You got to make time for what you really truly find interesting and want to talk about. Now, this is something I really don't particularly want to talk about, but I can't deny it's incredibly interesting. And I can't deny that there's a whole lot of meat on this bone, a little bit more so than two basketball stories I wanted to cover. And one was actually not even a basketball story. It was something that happened outside of basketball involving Dwight Howard. And one was the James Harden situation. But I felt like this was something I could kind of sink my teeth into a little bit more. Unlike the chest of Sniper Wolf, which if I sunk my teeth into them, might pop. One of them might pop. Talking about air balloons. They look like air balloons. I'm sure they're filled up with something. Not air. Specifically, I would say silicone. Impressive, though. I'll say that. There's a lot of people out there that are simps of one Sniper Wolf. And I found out today that she's a sexy sniper. That's why there's all the S's. I think I've spoken on this person maybe once before, I believe. Maybe once before. She's a YouTuber, technically. But she's not really a creative YouTuber. Meaning, she doesn't do a whole hell of a lot. Other than, show up and read scripted lines and pretend like she's playing games. Or at least that was the case. I don't know what's up with her channel now. I just know that that's what I remembered about her. That her ex-husband, who's apparently named Sausage, is that a nickname? I mean, maybe that's why she married him. I don't know. But not a attractive gentleman. Kind of overweight. Have you seen the sausage guy? I mean, it's got to be something happening down below. There's got to be something happening down below. Either that or maybe he just makes a lot of money. I'm sorry. Like I'm a shallow kind of person. If I see a situation where a very attractive female is with a guy that looks like a whatever that guy looks like, comic book guy, I would say from Simpsons, then I would say, there's money involved or something's going on there. Now, she helped to make, already slipping up. He helped to make Sniper Wolf a household name because he would actually, you know what, I don't even want to get into that. I live at a time, like I said, I'm not going to tell you the whole story between Sausage and Sniper Wolf because honestly, I don't know much beyond what I've actually just read and found out in preparation for this upload, which is about 5-10 minutes. That's all the time I had. What's going on with Sniper Wolf is one last thing about him is they got divorced last year, and he's been trying to get full control of their joint channel away from her. He even locked her out of the channel. And he has more of a claim to it, even though supposedly it's 50-50, because he did 90% of everything. She just showed up. He basically wrote everything for her. He had his hand up her booty like a puppet. And, he might have in real life, I'm not sure. But he had his hand up her booty like a puppet. She was just reading the lines for him. I guess I got to get to the nitty gritty. So, this Sniper Wolf apparently is a crazy bitch. And maybe, women react a certain way when they're going through some things. And she was going through some things with him actually trying to struggle, get the channel away from her, because that's pretty much how she makes about $1 million a month. No lie, she makes about $1 million a month. I looked into it briefly in the 5-10 minutes of preparation I had for this. And she's maybe in a stressful state. And there's this one guy, Jax Films, who ironically if I'm not mistaken, correct me in the comment section if I deserve to be corrected here. He had a series of uploads talking about her, maybe some critical type satire, and there was a lot. I think he even created a side channel devoted to calling her out for her lack of creativeness and taking content from other channels. Quote, fair use. But the irony there is, I'd never seen those uploads, but if he actually used her footage, then isn't he doing the same thing? I mean, if he's using the footage on her channel where she's using other people's footage, then isn't this like just going downhill? Isn't the shit sliding downhill? I've never seen the uploads, but I know that's key here because she didn't like that very much. So what she did while he was streaming, she was about 10 minutes supposedly away from him. She got her phone out. She went right to his house. This was in California. She went right to his house, and she was outside. I saw a little video clip, and she's talking about how he has ice cream on his porch, so he has to come out. And she basically stalks him to his house, which would be kind of insane because it's outside of YouTube. You're taking things outside of YouTube. It's one thing to like maybe talk about somebody on YouTube and to criticize somebody on YouTube, but to actually go to their actual house to find out where they are, actually go to their house is nuts. Is nuts. I mean, she's like basically, she should be in a position to where even if she does, she has maybe a lawyer or an attorney contact his people and say, the uploads on the YouTube channel, they're slander or something like that. But she went because she had an issue. She wanted to talk with him. She wanted him to come outside. Acting like a Karen, I would say. Well, maybe not specifically, because there's, maybe that's not accurate. But just acting like he needed to come out and talk with her. Now, he rightly was terrified to come out because, but she might smother him to death with her balloons. I don't know. Honestly, I'm telling you all right now, this is just me here. If she was outside of my house, have you seen her? If she was outside of my house, I would invite her in. I got a liquor cabinet. I'm just saying, but I'm kind of a Lothario. We could hash things out. We could, because if you look at it in a different way of looking at it, she's divorced. She was single. She's very attractive. I'm not sure if she's has any STDs. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say that she does. I don't even know why I brought that up. The only question I would ask her, hey, Sniper Wolf, before we do anything, do you have any STDs? And she pinky swears and she says no. I'm like, okay, that's good enough for me. But I'm not a guy that's just terrified of females. I'm not, because, they're females. It's not like maybe Ronda Rousey. Yeah, okay. But I'm not scared of females. Maybe a situation where he didn't know if she was with some people. Maybe she was with some men. I'm not sure. Maybe she was alone. I don't know the details of that. She is opening herself up to a lot of potential problems. Not specifically on YouTube, because YouTube's response is to just, you hear that? It's no lighter than that. Like a light slap on the wrist, because she was demonetized. But it's temporary demonetization. And for what I'm reading, it didn't affect her old uploads, just the new ones. Originally, even her second channel wasn't demonetized, but I might be a little off on that, but that's what I read. Maybe there's more demonetization. But ultimately, she's not going to be deplatformed. A lot of people are calling on her to be deplatformed because it's straight up doxing. If you read the YouTube terms of service, anyone that doxes someone, they're open to harsh penalties. So a lot of people are calling out YouTube actually in this because they said, here's someone with a huge following. This is key. Over 5 million Instagram followers, a lot more people subscribe to her on YouTube, a lot of simps, a lot of probably, I would say, deeply, deeply in love simps with her. And when a man is in love with a woman, Oh my goodness. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe like he wasn't initially afraid and fearful of her being at his house, but if she was bringing live streaming at his house. So that could have been it. Maybe he realized, oh shit, she's live streaming this. She's in front of my house. She's live streaming it. And I can't imagine what kind of fear he must live in right now, him and his family. Because, you see, there's nothing more unbalanced than one of these simps that probably donate a lot of money to her because she's attractive online. If I were him, I would just be like freaking out, looking over every shoulder. I mean every shoulder. He's only got two, but I'd be looking around like, okay, is somebody going to try to attack me and defend her honor? Because it's one thing if you're on YouTube and you're calling people out or you're making uploads criticizing people. Because, not everyone knows where you are. They don't know where you live. But the minute people know where you live, it becomes instantly different. So I don't know further if he's actually had more critical uploads on her or if he's going to like step away from that for a moment. Just way too much to talk about. There's so many things I could go into, but I just really don't have the time right now. One final thing is he has a hell of a lawsuit on his hands if he chooses to, because in the state of California, doxing of that type is illegal. And there's all kind of laws against people showing up to your house and things like, live streaming is not in the law, but damn, I wish I had more preparation for this. I really did. But from what I was reading, I don't live there. So I don't. I don't know. Maybe he thought there was more people with her. Maybe that's what freaked him out. I gotta quickly get through this. I really do. I really don't have the time to upload this tonight, but that's just a common thing with me. I'm not a millionaire like this Sniper Wolf. I don't get to get on live stream and get on YouTube and have other people basically make me millions of dollars and build my whole career and script the words for me. Not everyone gets to do that. I have to work hard for my money that I have. I got to work hard for it. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Really. I'll finish off by saying that she opens herself up quite a bit. Maybe she's loose. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know personally. She opens herself up to a lot of problems here in that particular state of California because there's harsh rules, harsh laws against things like doxing, as it probably would be because of all the celebrities in that state. Hell, Sniper Wolf, she's a celebrity. She went there for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe it was her time of the month. I'm not sure. And she wanted to talk to the guy. And she live streamed that to her 5 million Instagram followers. And I'm thinking, man, if he could really take her to the cleaners, he could completely, he would win the case. There's no way he would not win the case, other than the fact that maybe he's a man and she's a woman. I don't know. I don't know if that plays a role here. I'll talk about in a second about YouTube's response to it, if I didn't already. He has so many different angles to where he could actually focus on in court, because it's invasion of privacy that's putting him in danger. She is seen as she is a celebrity, so anything that happens to him, if he has people starting to come to his house, try to break in his house, graffiti his house, even just throw eggs at his house or whatever, damage his property, anything that happens after that can be linked directly to her. And he could show proof that there's been nothing like that happening before her. And one reason he is incredibly scared right now is there is nothing scarier than a simp. You got to think. Some of these guys that donate all this money to her, they have never been in the same room with anyone of her attractiveness level. These are guys donating hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to a complete stranger if she winks at them. Just think what these people, I hope nothing happens to this guy. Just think what these people are capable of now that they know where he lives. So if it was on his end, I mean, I'm not saying he should apologize or anything, but I don't think that he'll continue with his whatever uploads he has on her, because now it's different. All these guys, these simps, know exactly where he lives. That's why doxing is such a cruel and powerful type thing used in this way. And believe me, she knew it, because she asked her followers, should I go to his house? Should I dox him? Basically, should I go to his house? She knew exactly what she was doing. And I'm now reading that apparently she is armed robbery. Really? Well, tells you a lot that you need to know about her, I suppose. So she even has a record. So if he wanted to, he could just take her to the cleaners. You know, but even then, if he takes her to court, then, I mean, he would probably have to move or get in the witness protection program or something like that. But, you know, if he gets a ton of money from her, like I said, she has money, $1 million a month. He could sue her for a lot that she's worth, and then he could just move somewhere else, far away from, you know, California or whatnot. I was just trying to put myself in that situation. Crazy bitch shows up at my house, live streaming to 5 million followers. Now, some of her followers might say, well, he had it coming. He's had all these uploads talking about her, and I haven't seen the uploads. So I can't say if he's on point, if he's fair. I can't say, because again, time constraints. I don't have the time to go through all the catalog of his uploads and whatnot. One last thing on the YouTube end of it. YouTube had a harsh penalty for this huge moneymaker on the platform. Harsh penalty. You remember how they penalized Logan Paul, one of the biggest on the platform? And, oh wait, no, he's still a YouTube channel? Oh, yeah. Slap on the wrist for old Logan Paul. But no, they really got SSSniperWolf because they demonetized her temporarily. And I don't even think it was for her second channel. And I think I'm reading here that even on her older uploads, they still have monetization. So it was for the newer uploads, and it's temporary. So yeah, great on you, YouTube. Now, could it possibly be, I don't know, the fact that she's a female and this is a male that she doxed? If it was the other way around, and if it was a male doxing a female, I'm thinking it might be a little different. Then there might be some deplatforming going on there.